Okay, so we have, as I understand it, three options. Well, first of all, as I understand the city attorney, the decision.
The public hearing?
Yeah, we'll get to the public in a minute, but I want to make sure that we have all of the issues and that Mr. Drack has raised. What I'm hearing from the city attorney, the decision that was made by this council 2 weeks ago was a legitimate decision. Now, what stands before us is, do we affirm that decision tonight? Do we sustain the planning commission, or do we sustain the planning commission's recommendation of a one-year extension? Or does council now wish to reconsider what their decision was 2 weeks ago and renotice it and have another hearing? Am I understanding it correctly?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And I believe that probably in deference to Mr. Drack, that the easiest way for the city council to proceed is to perhaps decide the last thing first. That is, do you want to renotice the public hearing and start over? Or maybe not necessarily start over, but at least allow additional evidence by either side. If you want to do that, simply direct your staff to do that, and we'll all be back when the matter has been renoticed. If you do not want to do that, then I do think it's appropriate to give Mr. Drack the opportunity to put on the record whatever argument he wants to make about the resolution that staff's prepared.
So we should, at least at this point, my understanding is we need to look at option number 3, and if that's something we want to do, because that will drive what follows next.
Yeah, you might want to ask and see if there's more public comment.
Yeah, okay. I saw Mr. Drack still standing there. I didn't know if he wanted to add anything. Are you finished at this point in time?
At this point.
Okay, and with the understanding you'll be coming back up. Any comments from the audience? Yes, Ms.
Hello again. I know it's late, and I'll try to keep it short.
Fine.
Back in 1994, I was involved. I was on the community advisory committee for the downtown revitalization plan, maps of which are on the wall and still being referenced. And in that study, it was one of the key elements for revitalization of the downtown was to increase residential development in the downtown, the number of pedestrians and foot traffic, people living in the downtown who could utilize those businesses. A lot of time and work went into that study. And again, we're seeing the same kinds of things coming up in subsequent studies, including even this one for the Northeast Quadrant, where they're saying support the downtown, increase residential and mixed uses in the downtown, work on infill, don't do sprawl, try to concentrate your residential uses in the older downtown areas. Mr. Asher has provided a project which does this. I don't know how many of you have actually seen the project next door that he developed, the building that he's developed on West A Street across from the Dixon Florist. He's got several, there's the apartment project there, plus the retail property. He's got a project similar to this that he developed on East D Street, 641 East D. He added a second unit to the back. And all of these are quality projects that are bringing in affordable housing for people within the downtown and create infill development that is really needed in our community. I would really hope that you would consider this project for approval rather than denying the extension. Being in the real estate business, I saw virtually all of the funding options for commercial and residential projects start to shrivel up starting about June, July of last year. This is not his fault. He had an approved project. He's got lenders that are having issues which have delayed his being able to develop it. A similar Perhaps an analogy in a similar development opportunity might be to consider what happens with expirations of tentative maps on subdivisions. Typically, if you can get a 1-year extension on a tentative map. When the economy gets as it is today, the state automatically grants, upon request, a second extension for a year on those projects, knowing that when the money is gone, developers who are ready, willing, and able to develop those projects may not be able to come up with the funding in time to do it under their initial application. So I would ask that you approve this project.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Voss. Other comments? Mr. Figueroa?
Dan Figueroa, property owner in this neighborhood, along with a number of other people who showed up at the last time we had a hearing on this appeal. The appeal was properly filed. The city attorney has answered with regard to the meeting that was held and the decision that was made. I really didn't expect to have another discourse, and neither did anybody else who came to speak at the earlier meeting expect to have a discourse on this all over again. I think the decision made and the action taken was to bring forth the conditions of approval, or findings, excuse me, that would justify the actions that the council made at that time. So I would hope that that action continues. As the action was made, the hearing was held, and we thought that was done. I'm actually not even here to discuss. I didn't expect to be discussing this, but in light of the arguments that are being brought forth again, I thought I should make that point clear. Also, that starting over might also mean redesigning this project. There's nothing to prevent a revision to this project that might meet Mr. Asher's needs. It might also meet the concerns of the neighborhood, and everybody can win. There's nothing to prevent that from happening, and frankly, I hope it does. I don't want Mr. Asher to go away. I think he's a decent gentleman, and he's worked hard on things. I see him working with his own hands on projects, and I respect that. And I don't want him to go away, but on the other hand, myself and other property owners in the neighborhood feel like we could do better on this site. And that's why we spoke up when we did, and we were very happy that the council made its action when it did at the last meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Figueroa. Any other comments from the public? Yes, Ms. Emerson?
Yes, good evening, or good morning, or whatever
Not yet,
time
not
it
yet.
is. My name is Ginger Emerson, and my comments really don't pertain to specifically to Mr. Asher's project. But when people stand before you and talk about this type of infill, they don't, generally speaking, live in the neighborhood that they are supposedly improving or supposedly redeveloping. And I think you need to hear from the people who actually live in the neighborhood, put up with the impact of this type of infill. And I think you heard from those people the last time. Thank you.